Hello, everyone. I'm Blaine Gilmer here for UGA Sports as we are following the transfers that have left the Georgia program and are to what level of success are they having now that they've gone on elsewhere? Are the pastures greener, so to speak? Georgia is the number one ranked team in the country, has opened up with emphatic victories 3 weeks in a row. Yes, I know people want to say, what about Samford? Yeah, they were just sleepwalking, taking care of a buddy of Kirby Smart's, in my opinion. You see what happened when they went to Columbia, South Carolina, when they played Oregon in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in that Chick-fil-A kickoff game. Georgia has been nothing short of dominant, and that may be a reason that you see some of these players that have moved on elsewhere, maybe thought they had better opportunities, so to speak, at other places. But whatever the reason may be, these players have moved on to other places, and it's time for us to track them here on UGA Sports. Make sure you're subscribed to UGAsports.com. Make sure you're subscribed to this YouTube channel. Give us a like, turn on notifications. Lots of content each week. The Overreaction Show with Paul and Roddy going live after the games. The whole staff jumps in, myself, Trent Smallwood, Jed May. We have our Rumors versus Facts show presented by Turner Woodensmith each Monday night, and then Coach Donnan goes live with Roddy and Dane, and also Dane and Brent break down film throughout the week. So everything you could possibly want is here on the UGA Sports YouTube channel. So subscribe. It's free. Why not? But without getting too further down into that path, let's go ahead and look at some of these transfer portal guys that have left Georgia and how they're faring this year. Right now, Jermaine Burton is slated as the number one receiver for Alabama. Only 8 catches, 61 yards on the year, and 2 touchdowns. Thought that, I think he might have expected, especially with some of the cupcakes they've played early on in the season here, and even with that Texas game and a key drop in that game, I think he might have expected to have a few more yards coming out of these first 3 contests. But nevertheless, we'll see. I'm sure he'll have a big rest of the year there for Alabama. But like I said, 8 catches, 61 yards on the year for him. JT Daniels and West Virginia lost 2 heartbreakers to start the year off. Lost in the last minute to Pitt, and then also lost in overtime to Kansas on a pick 6. Except for that throw throughout that game, JT Daniels was really good, 70% completion, 3 touchdowns on the day in that overtime loss to Kansas, and then bounced back this past weekend, 174 yards, a touchdown as they took down Towson 65-7. Now he's get 2 chances to kind of show on the road what he can do. Virginia Tech, they go there, and then they'll go to Texas after that. So JT Daniels on the year, 753 passing yards. That's good for 39th in the country, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions on the year. Now let's move over to Florida. Florida has a couple of key transfers that are doing things for them in terms of on the defensive front and in the defensive backfield. Jalen Kimber, really a big reason why Florida was able to snatch victory out of the jaws of defeat from the mighty South Florida Bulls this past weekend. Had a pick 6 that really kind of got things going there for Florida right before half, and then still South Florida almost drove down and beat them at the end of the game. Jalen Kimber had another pass deflected in that game. So Kimber making his mark there for Billy Napier's club. Brenton Cox was after Gary Bohannon all day. Brenton Cox hasn't recorded a sack this year, but he seems to have like 4,000 quarterback pressures. So he's always going after the quarterback, relentless pass rusher. We all know this. Entertaining follow on social media as well. So if you like doing that sort of thing, give old Brenton Cox Jr. a follow on social media. Arkansas also has 2 former Georgia Bulldogs on its team, Latavius Bernee and also Matt Landers. Bernee is came up big for Arkansas in a secondary that's struggled a little bit. They gave up 350 some odd yards to Missouri State this past weekend. Bernie had 5 tackles, pass deflection. So he's starting to carve out a role over there for Sam Pittman's club. And then Matt Landers was very big for Arkansas this past weekend. Like I said, things were not looking good. Missouri State came in with Bobby Petrino, former disgraced head coach there at Arkansas, and they had jumped all over Arkansas 17-0. Matt Landers ends up having 7 catches for 123 yards. That's 17.6 yards per catch, had a long of 47. And, he's just been very consistent for Arkansas this year. 14 catches, 211 yards. And, good for Matt Landers. He's the talent's always been there. He's got the size, but just had some unfortunate drops when he was with the Georgia Bulldogs. I think most of the Georgia fan base would say, all is forgiven now. Matt Landers, now that Georgia's won a title, and I know everybody's hoping the best for Landers out in the SEC West. Big game for them this weekend as they take on Texas A&M and Jerry's World over there. And then Major Burns, he's turned into be a good defensive back for LSU. Had 5 tackles this past weekend, a key pass breakup. So Major Burns is doing some good things over there as well. Guys, that is our transfer portal tracker. Like I said, subscribe to the YouTube channel here. Make sure if you want all the latest news and information, everything that Roddy and Dash and all those guys are breaking over there, our recruiting news as signing day gets closer and closer, make sure you're a member of UGASports.com as well. For all the guys over at UGA Sports, I'm Blaine Gilmer, and we'll catch you next time on our next piece of content, which there are so many here on the channel. Thanks for tuning in.